Hi everyone, how are you doing? I'm Honor and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you should totally subscribe. I'm here because I haven't done a sit-down video in a while, and I had this video idea that I came up with, when was this? Probably like a year and a half ago, that I realized that I never did a video for. This is 5 ways to songwrite. As most things in life, like, it can be hard to start something when all you have is the end goal in mind. And so something that I always try to follow and live by is getting started to make progress and then going from there. It's easier to go back to knowing that I have started something and I don't have to start from scratch. It's really easy to get caught up in I don't know what I'm doing, or where would I even start, and placing things together. It can be really hard and overwhelming, and so I just wanted to come on here and kind of share my view on this sort of thing and what I do when I get stuck. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I've been pretty much writing songs since the beginning, and I've got progressively better at certain things. I took voice lessons for a while during COVID, and then once it became a more a more dedicated dancer, I had to stop and put all my energy into dance. But now that I've stopped dance, I've had a little bit more time on my hands to think about my songwriting and possibilities of sharing more of that stuff with you. I love listening and writing music, and I feel like my life would be completely different without either of those things, so I'm very happy that it is a big part of my life and that I get to share some of my experiences with music on this channel. So I have a lot of notebooks behind me, and that is because I think the #1 way to figure out kind of what you want to write about, if you're stuck in that sense, is start keeping a journal. Now, I have been journaling my whole life, basically. I think I started my first diary when I was in 3rd grade, but I loved reading and writing even before then. But that's kind of where I consistently started writing. You can see what you cared about and reoccurring themes in your life, what you were doing. It's a way to keep memories that don't always stay in your mind, and I think that's really special. So this is my middle school journal. I never finished it because I used to write in this one really often, and then I switched to once every 2 weeks just so I could look back and keep up on it. When I picked this up, I was like, when was the last time I wrote in this? And I found the entry of March 13th, 2020, when COVID hit, and at least where it hit in Charlotte, and schools were shut down. And I was looking at it, says, I guess Friday the 13th really are unlucky. And I didn't even realize that sort of thing, it happened on Friday the 13th. The last time I wrote on this was September 4th, 2022. And I think, there was some overlapping with this one. It had gone, I think I had started some of these journals down here, kind of just keeping track of what, it was this sort of thing that I was doing. And so I just decided, I was already having this, and I knew I wanted to continue with that, so I kind of stopped that one. And then now I do bullet journaling. You see all my bullet journals over here. But just looking back and reading on what you have to say, it's so cool to see your growth and come back to things that you might have forgotten about, which can reestablish new feelings, and maybe from a more mature state of mind, even though obviously I'm still not fully mature, my brain is still developing. But looking at things from a new perspective, oh, I was in the wrong in this scenario, and these sort of things, writing themes can come from that pretty easily, and I think it's super special. Like the songs that I've written doing something like that are very much a different vibe than something that just comes to my mind automatically. And the second method that I strongly suggest is, whether it's on paper, although I would suggest something that you have all the time like your phone, is keeping, I love my notes app, but just keeping a random song ideas thing in your phone. So this is mine. It's literally just a list of things. Reading over that list once it's at a decent length and kind of finding things that connect, and sometimes I put like rhyming words in there that I wouldn't have thought about, or like some book revelations that I have after reading, or just like random concepts throughout my day. I also have one where it's like unusual facts and stuff like that. And it's just, you can incorporate really anything into songwriting, and I think that's such a special and unique thing about it that not a lot of other areas focus on that kind of stuff. Keeping note of conversations that I'm having, whether it's through text messages or in person, because what you say to other people reflects a lot of your character and sort of things that are important in your life. I definitely have gone through some of my text messages with all sorts of people and just found these one-liners, or like a conversation we're talking about just like sparks an idea for a song that I've had. Some of the best song lyrics that I love can be said by other people. Like, it doesn't have to be entirely something that I've created, because although the piecing together of it is my creation or whoever wrote the song, like the inspiration can come from different places that aren't yours. Like, I know a lot of songwriters have expressed that they have written about one of their close friends' experiences, and it was really like, yes, healing for them to write, but also healing for others to hear. I think while songwriting is such a great coping mechanism for me, like, I'm a huge writer. I love doing it, and I think it's so freeing. It can also be a way to express things that you might keep inside, like your emotions, and that's kind of a release of emotions, which is a great way to do it. There's always something that I can come back to. The outline is already there, and I just get to add to it with fresh eyes, because sometimes you need fresh eyes when you're stuck on a project, or you got interrupted by time and now it's been 2 years because you've forgotten about it. It's just really cool. The next thing is an easy way for starting, and you especially don't have any experience with instruments or tracking or anything like that, is just finding a free instrumental track somewhere, and especially if you're not publishing this song, because or else it would be sampling, is to just add words to this instrumental piece, because sometimes it can be really hard to find a melody that you want your words to go to. When I'm like not wanting to go on my piano, because going on the piano and finding the right chords is very time consuming, I can spark inspiration from this random track that I've found online that's complete, and just add words to it, and it makes the process shorter, but it also gets your brain moving. The fourth thing I would say is, I used to do this a couple years ago, but whenever a new song would come out, I would hit play and listen to just the introduction, and if I liked the introduction before any of the words would come, I would just replay the introduction without hearing the song at all. Not hearing, well, like, yes, hearing the introduction, but like, I've never heard the actual song, like any of the words or how the chorus might go or something like that, and I'll just take it from there. And then it's fun to see, like, in the end, like, even if you're just humming, how the chords would go, and added words to that, which is what I did very early on. It's cool to, like, even compare how your song turned out to another one. They turn out to be completely different songs that have the same beginning, and I think that's just a really good way to spark some creativity and get like a melody in your mind, because once you hear something, your brain can go in a million different ways, and that's just so beautiful. The last method that I would suggest is actually one that I learned from my voice lessons about a year in when we started songwriting, and that's to focus on the 5 senses. So a lot of songs that you can relate to or feel like a calmness when listening to them appeal to your 5 senses. And I know this probably sounds like a little English lecture right now, but the 5 senses really do have a lot of control and attraction when it comes to your writing. Your 5 senses can really help appeal to you creating a scenario in your mind. Like, I know the first time I ever used that, I was tasked with describing vines. Literally, I was tasked to describe a setting with vines, and it was so cool to see the whole thing. It's probably in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's also funny to see how my handwriting has evolved. Okay, this is We Were Liars, so it has to be around here somewhere, because that was the same time. Vines. I found it! Okay, so we were told to think of 3 just objects. So I had chose vines, paint, and nails, and then just like put describing words with those things. So with vines, I had put twisty, veiny, strong, takeover, green, slimy, and with paint, I said thick versus thin, toxic, pleasing, harmonious, splatter, smooth. Like just all these description words, and it really helps to kind of dive into the specifics of a topic in a creative way that you would have never thought of before. And that's some of the best lines, and the ones that stick most with us out of a song is like play on words and like strong description. So then I went with each category, so sound, smell, taste, all that, and I put descriptions for each of those. So like for smell, I said fresh dirt or earthy. I just implemented whatever I came up with into this song. It ended with a song called Best in You. It says, "I never noticed, polished then forgotten, placed or wild in nature, far from all the toxins. Trickle of the river stepping through the leaves, green, blue, and silver through the thick of the trees. Living or not, there's wonder all around, twisty and veiny vines upon the ground. The beauty stays strong and brings out the best in you. The takeover world reacts the way they please, a wildflower grows despite the fence it sees. The beauty stays strong and bring out the best in you." I was talking about nature a lot in that one, which is probably one of the easier things to start with when you're focusing on the 5 senses, but it was just a really cool process and really changed my perspective of how writing isn't a specific way, and like no matter how you go about things, like there's not really a wrong answer, because most of the time you do get a song in the end. Songs are often seen as poetry, and especially with that one, like with the rhymings and the observations of nature, like that could definitely be a poem, but when you add it to music, it makes a song. So that was my 5 methods. I hope this helped inspire you to do some writing. It doesn't have to be songwriting, it could be poetry writing, or if you hate writing for some reason and just love music, like it just inspired you in a new way like you wouldn't have thought of before, because songwriting is very prominently writing, along with the creative piece of putting music together, which I still haven't mastered. I've mastered none of this. Like, it's a process where you're always learning. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you want me to do more of these sit-down videos. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully be sending more song covers and maybe some of my original stuff your way soon. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in another one of my